Hi guys, welcome to another edition of PoorManMods. Host going to be myself, Zach, and Brad because we still haven't rehired Freddie. Even though we're at his shop using his camera equipment and all of his tools, we fired him. He's not part of PoorManMods anymore. The last video, if you guys remember, we installed the budget kit on my little 92 Ranger. Today we're going to be installing a purge kit that Nitrous Express was kind enough to send us. We feel like that's an essential thing just to know that you're primed up and ready to go. Hit that button, see the purge, good to do your pass. So hopefully you enjoy the video, stick around. So because I have the pressure gauge in here, we already have a manifold like they included with the kit. We got a couple options. We can try and remount this or reroute this and pull this off to the side to where we can put the purge into this. Also thinking maybe just double up and put a second manifold to where both of them are pointed right up in the air. We're still not 100% sure what we're doing, but start off by taking off this hose that feeds in and see what kind of room we have. So before we get ready and take this line off, you want to make sure that you're not connected to your bottle and the line is closed off, otherwise you're just going to start blowing nitrous everywhere and you're going to have a really bad time. So we're going to go ahead and install the solenoid and plug and everything onto the manifold. After looking at it and figuring out exactly what we wanted to do, we decided to just thread this onto the existing manifold. That way this spaces it out. It looks like it should fit in there pretty nice. Gonna go ahead and start by plugging off the one side. Obviously we're running nitrous through this high pressure stuff, so you really want to make sure you get everything good and snug. Don't crank on it and break something, but you do want that tightened down pretty nice like. So basically the way this solenoid is going to work is going to be just the same as the original one we installed. When we put the plate in, flip the switch, it's going to open this solenoid up and allow everything to run out through this and then purge through the hood, through the washer fluid sprayer hole, wherever we decide to go with it. We're still up in the air about that. Just a simple little solenoid. Okay, so it's also important to note that there is marked clearly on the solenoid an in and an out. Make sure you don't f that up. Don't say that. I'm trying to say that. I can't say fuck. Just say, okay, just say it. Make sure you don't screw it up. Okay. So on the solenoid itself, it's clearly marked with an in and an out. Make sure you don't screw that up when you put it in. Have it routed in properly. Definitely gonna leave the whole thing in the video. So once you get the manifold snugged down and the line snugged onto it, then we can start running the hard line through the outside of the solenoid up to wherever we're gonna have our purge.
Okay guys, so for the solenoid for the purge valve, we're gonna wire it up with its own system so that it's we're gonna wire it up so that it's independent from the rest of the nitrous system. So we're gonna run it its own power. You mother. We're gonna run it so that it in the same fashion. We're gonna run it in the same fashion as the nitrous system, where we're gonna have the switch is gonna activate the ground for the relay. So we're gonna run off the same power wire that goes to the other relay because it's low draw. So we're gonna run off that same wire to the main power for this relay. Hook up the load to the solenoid. The solenoid will have a constant ground, and then the relay will be grounded by the switch. So we're gonna mount that in the engine bay and run the wires inside and get it all set up. All right, so we went ahead and hooked up the relay for the purge system. It's the same setup as the solenoids for the fuel and the nitrous to spray itself. The yellow is going to power the solenoid. We tied together main power coming into the relay power as well as the load power. And then the ground is going to run to the push button switch that came with the kit. The relay did not come with the kit. So when you press the button, it connects the ground, sends the relay connected, and sends the power out to the solenoid. So if you guys remember, this was the system arm switch. We set these up with individual relays. So this is one of the ground pieces as well as the full throttle for actually activating the nitrous. This button is going to be for the purge. And what I did was this one runs out to ground the relay, and this one comes in from the relay as the ground wire. So the switch connects them, connects the ground, and flips the relay.
Okay, so before we did any of the actual purging stuff, we hooked all of the lines up. I went back there and cracked the bottle real quick just to try and pressurize the system and listen for leaks. Make sure that none of these couplers, because we got a bunch of different unions, a bunch of different pieces that are all coming together and need to be good and tight. And then got it all together, was no leaks, and now we gotta run the line up through this solenoid, and we're gonna drill a hole and come right out through there for the actual line for the purge.
All right, so the kit comes with this fitting and this extension rod that goes into the exit of the purge valve where the nitrous will come out when you activate the purge system. But we're going to go with something a little more custom so that we can see it when we're sitting inside the truck. So we had this piece of brake line that we're gonna connect with a compression fitting to the solenoid, and then we're going to route it properly. We drilled a hole right here in the firewall, and that will run up inside of the cowl where we'll be able to see the purge when we activate the system. This brake line that we're gonna use is standard 3/16 brake line that will work with the fitting that comes with the kit.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what nitrous does.
All right, so we have our brake line run that we're gonna use for the purge system. We're gonna go ahead and install it.
All right, so we've got everything run. We said earlier I was thinking of going up through there, and we decided to just go through this plastic and then enlarge one of the holes up on the top of this cowl to run out through, and it actually worked really well because it kept everything good and sturdy the whole way. This is a lot of pressure, the whole thing was shaking, so it kind of helps tie everything together. And we have a purge kit and a completed nitrous kit on a 302 Ranger. So obviously we need to give a huge thanks to Nitrous Express. Got us this budget kit and the purge system, added a couple little ins and outs along the way. Got it all in and completed. All we have to do now is dyno this sumbitch and see if we can't make some horsepower without blowing it up.